The nonprofit MBA purpose is to provide new business insights and fresh creative ideas for executive directors and their teams that will help them improve their organization. Here is your host, Stephen Halasnik.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephen Halasnik. I will be your host today for the Nonprofit MBA podcast, as I have been for over 300 times now. I am co-founder of Financing Solutions, and Financing Solutions is, believe it or not, we are the largest provider, a leading provider of lines of credit for small nonprofits in the United States. Yes, there is a company who specifically specializes in that, and we've been doing it for 12 years, and it's been a very popular product. If you're interested, please visit nonprofitmbapodcast.com to learn more about the line of credit. Again, that's Nonprofit MBA Podcast. And we have a sponsor for today, as we usually do, Arrays Fast Fund Online. It's accounting software that's specifically built for small to medium-sized nonprofits. I'm on a nonprofit. I'm actually on, I'm on a board of a nonprofit, and we switched to them. We're really happy with them. It's a lot better than something like QuickBooks for nonprofits. If you're interested in learning more about Arrays' product, please go to araize.com, arrays.com. And today, I'm very excited to be speaking with Ronald Pruitt from For a Good Cause. Ronald is the founder and president of For a Good Cause, an easy-to-use and effective fundraising CRM for nonprofits. Again, CRM, for those of you who aren't sure, is customer relationship management. For more than 25 years, Ronald has helped nonprofits launch campaigns that have raised millions of dollars for causes from Maine to Hawaii. This expensive experience has made Ron an expert in what drives online giving, especially for monthly donations, which is what we're going to be talking a lot about today. So, Ron, welcome to today's Nonprofit MBA podcast.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to meet you, Stephen, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. So, monthly donations is not new, right? Would you say it started to really kind of hit some started to be a bigger deal 5 years ago, or no? How long has it been since it started to be a bigger deal?
Yeah, I think it certainly has been around a while. If you look at one of the gurus that I follow a lot is Erica Wasdorp. She's been on your podcast. She's a monthly giving expert, and if you look back, I mean, she's been writing books about this for a long time. She wrote a book called The Sleeping Giant, where back in that time, this is 10, 15, years ago, people were writing checks and sending them every month, and nonprofits would have a very old school way of collecting these monthly donations. But I think you're right. The last 5-10 years, we've seen the explosion of electronic giving. We've also seen, I think, donors be conditioned that they can pay for-profit services on a subscription basis. I mean, I know I probably have 7 or 8, maybe 10 now subscriptions, anything from Netflix to Disney Plus to YouTube TV, all the content and media type stuff. It's all kind of conditioned us that we can pay on a subscription basis. A lot of for-profit companies have switched, a lot of their models to working on a subscription basis. So yeah, I think it just conditions the donor that this is they can give to a nonprofit in the same way. And we're certainly seeing nonprofits embrace that because they want predictable recurring revenue. That's something that's so good for them. And you're talking about trends. Certainly, if you look at, there's a study that we follow every year, the M&R benchmark study. And currently, coming out of the pandemic, we've seen overall giving decline, down 4% for most nonprofits, but monthly giving is up 11%. and now it's accounting for about 28% of all revenue. So it is the one piece of the nonprofit pie that is growing, and we're starting to see more nonprofits be interested in that and want to reap the benefits of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, what's interesting too, thinking something I recently did, the nonprofits that I donate money to, I actually recently switched them all to monthly giving. And, just the reason I did it is because I've had other guests on, like yourself, talking about how much nonprofits like monthly giving versus the one time thing once a year. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's easy enough to do it for me. So I did it, and then I also upped it. So I gave more money than I was giving. Than I know, I'm sure I'm a one-off case, but now was there an advantage to me of doing that? I
Yeah.
there was
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Well, let me answer the advantage is I didn't want to forget once a year to do it.
Right.
Right. Now I
Right.
guess they took my credit card and they would have just charged me again, but it made it easier for me to say these things are really important to me. I don't want to forget them, and it's just easier if I move it to a monthly basis. I don't have an issue with cash flow, so that wasn't a big reason.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
Yeah. It's beneficial for not only the nonprofit, but for the donor as well. For the donor, there's a low entry point. I mean, a lot of times a nonprofit is asking for you to come in as low as $10 a month, $20 a month. That's easy for the donor to be able to afford that. So it's an easy jump in. Oh yes, I can easily jump in and support that nonprofit at that level. It's easy for the donor because it's easy for them to budget. It's just, oh, that's just another subscription I have. I can give $10 a month. Well, I'm giving 15 to Disney Plus, so that's easy for me. That's easy for me to budget that. It can be set it and forget it for the donor as well. It's easy, it's convenient, it's just taken off their card. It's something that is incredibly easy for the donor. And on the flip side, it's incredibly beneficial for the nonprofit. They get predictable and reliable income. They know that money is going to be coming in every month from these donors. So that gives them an opportunity to budget off of that so that they can plan throughout the year. They're going to be able to retain that donor better. A monthly donor is incredibly loyal. A one-time giver that gives online, most nonprofits are retaining that donor at around 29%. So, if that donor gives this year, the likelihood that they will give next year is around 29%. That's for, an online one-time giver. But a monthly giver, it's that person you're retaining that donor as high as upwards of 90%. They're more likely to stick around. They are committed to you month over month. That's a higher, lifetime value for the organization. On our platform, we track things like average gift size, things of that nature. So the average monthly gift on For a Good Cause is $64 a month currently in 2023. And so that's $64 a month every month for 12 months. That's over $750 a year. Most monthly givers stick around between 5 to 7 years. So if that monthly giver does stick around for those whole 7 years, that's $5,376 as a lifetime value for that donor. That is a huge benefit for a nonprofit. To get somebody that's that loyal, stick around that long. I mean, a gift over $5,000, that's a major gift for most of the nonprofits that we work with, and I know you work with as well. And that's that small nonprofit.
So help me understand this. you have it's gone from, well, I know where the formula might be wrong, but where I might be thinking, but so if only 29% of the people renew their year to year, and over 80% are reoccurring when they go to monthly, then
Mhm.
why is the overall down 4%? Is that major donations are down 4%?
So the data that I've seen is uh, overall, yeah. So during the pandemic, a lot of people gave,
Yep.
especially to food, food charities, poverty, homeless, things that, okay, we see the need during the pandemic that was given a lot. A lot of those givers pulled back after the pandemic. Um, Major givers are still pretty consistent, but your average everyday giver pulled back a bit coming out of the pandemic. Um, It's one of the reasons why uh, we think about resiliency for our clients. The pandemic kind of showed how event fundraising, that you couldn't do that during the event. So many nonprofits are reliant on ad hoc campaigns, one-off campaigns, events. The pandemic showed that those can be very vulnerable to big things that it might cause you not to be able to get together. They're also vulnerable to maybe you might lose that one big sponsor of that event. Same thing with grants. Grants, you might lose that funding. Maybe the government decides, oh, we can't, fund that particular program anymore. Um, Monthly giving can be an answer to that, to make you more resilient, to help you with the peaks and the valleys in your fundraising, where you've got that one big event maybe in the spring and you do a lot of year-end asks. Well, you've got some peaks in there. I know your business kind of, lines of credit and things like that try to help kind of fill those peaks and valleys.
Mhm.
Monthly giving can do the same because you are getting that consistent support every single month. We have a client that's a food bank in North Carolina. They have over 450 regular monthly givers. Their average is about $50 a month. That's over 22,000 a month that they know is going to be coming in every single month. And they know that's a resilient nonprofit. They're spending less time chasing new donors and they're building a reliable funding base for their organization. So I think you're seeing some pullback after the pandemic. Nonprofits are learning, gosh, we need to be more resilient. Monthly giving is a way that they can answer that.
What is tell me a little bit more about your software. I was trying to see what the connection is between monthly giving and your software. I think I got it, but
Mhm.
so tell me a little bit about what your CRM software does.
Yeah, so for a good cause, we've been in business over. I've been fortunate to be able to help nonprofits for over 25 years. This is something that this is a company that I started really as a web design consulting shop. All my background is really a lot in um, technical, how to drive conversions, how to get more traffic to your site and the donation pages that are kind of linked off that. That's really where my background is. And our software really emphasizes that. It's really all about driving conversions, and the main focus of the types of conversions that we're trying to build, trying to drive for our clients are monthly donations. There's kind of two sides to our software. One is you use our software to build pages that are going to support a fundraising campaign. Those are pages that take donations, sell event tickets, run uh, peer-to-peer and crowdfunding campaigns. And on the back end, we have a simple CRM that allows our clients to track their fundraising, track their interactions with their donors. So it's really two sides of it. One side is helping you raise more money through pages that are very focused on monthly giving and converting your donations. And on the back end, it's really about really simple reporting that helps you manage and track all of your fundraising. Our focus is simplicity, ease of use, and very personal customer support. And the pages, when we talk about monthly giving, we have a lot about this on our blog, but there's really certain factors that kind of prevent a donor from making a donation. We kind of talk about 4 big factors: confusion, friction, distraction, and fear. Confusion could be, why am I giving? Where am I on the page? I'm confused about how to finish this donation. Friction, that's, too many fields, a confusing process to actually give. We see a lot about distraction, which is you want to focus the donor on making the gift and remove anything around it. And then fear is really, do they trust the nonprofit and do they trust the process? Our pages are meant to work against those 4 factors and compel the donor into making a gift, and specifically, hopefully, a monthly gift. And I'm happy to, if it kind of fits with this conversation, I'm happy to chat about the things that we believe on a donation page that can kind of drive that monthly gift decision.
Well, I mean, if you went with your software, would that be included in what you would provide, or would that have to be the person would have to add those things to their website?
No, it's included.
It's included.
We certainly have a lot of recommendations, for a nonprofit's website before you get to the donation page. It's got to explain why you should give, the urgency of the gift, the impact of the gift. And for a monthly donation, we recommend a sort of a monthly giving landing page. A lot of nonprofits, monthly giving is just a checkbox or just one single form field on their whole website and their donation page. And it needs to be more than that. You need to specifically ask for a monthly donation on your website.
I would even think you should default to that, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So on the website itself, if you have like a ways to give page, you need to emphasize that a monthly gift is the absolute best option for you. Why it's convenient for the donor, why it's the best for the nonprofit to be able to make those long-term budgeting decisions. And then from there, and really from everywhere in your site, you're going to drive the donor into a monthly giving focused donation form. So that would mean monthly is the default choice. You're using icons, colors to kind of attract the donor's attention to the monthly gift choice versus one time. You're providing suggested giving levels for a recurring gift, in addition to suggested levels for one time. We think a good range for monthly giving, $10 on the low end, maybe $25, $35, and $50 in between, and maybe $100 on the high end. You want to offer a range that's an easy start for the nonprofit, for the donor. That's the $10 amount, and then an amount that they can make a huge impact with, and that's the $100 amount. Again, our average is around 64, so it tends towards the higher. You want to make it simple. Avoid decision fatigue. So really simple forms. Don't make them have to configure a lot of things. We start the donation at the monthly gift at the time that they submit. We renew it on the same date every month, and we and run that into perpetuity until the donor decides that they want to cancel that. We give them tools to be able to manage that monthly gift, update their card, update their amount, cancel if they need to, which actually can spur, enrollments. If you know that it's easy to cancel, you feel good about enrolling. So I love what you're saying there, that monthly is the default choice. It's
I'm
the best
curious.
gift. It's the best gift that you can get.
Yeah.
So.
I'm curious. The statistics about people giving money monthly and not leaving are so significantly different, right? It's so much better. But since the reoccurring option has become more and more prevalent, are we seeing a decline in people renewing because there are so many subscription services now, regardless if it's a nonprofit or not? I mean, are we moving from, 5 years ago, 89% people kept their monthly giving, to a smaller figure? It might be as, 70%, because now you have, people looking maybe closer at their subscription services and saying, this is getting ridiculous now. It's too much.
No, I don't think so. I think it's trained donors that, this is another easy way. This is an easy way that I can give to a nonprofit. We've seen the percentage of recurring donations on our platform has grown. It's now up to 45% of all the transactions on our platform are recurring monthly donations, and we do recurring donations, one-time donations, any type of event registration, product sale, and that. But the percentage of what is recurring has grown. It's up to, it's almost half of all the transactions on our platform are recurring. It's just easy and convenient for the donor, and I think, budgeting wise, any nonprofit, if they start with a really small entry point, you can enroll that donor, and then over time, you just get a slight upgrade. We typically, we have a little tool in our donor accounts where we can encourage the donor to give an extra 10%. X amount will increase your impact by 10%. I think that's an easy kind of upgrade amount for a nonprofit. And a lot of nonprofits do, yearly type of upgrade campaigns where they'll try to get a donor to give a little more. I don't see a pullback because our average is all the way, it's $64 a month. Nationally, if you look at something like an M&R benchmark study, averages are more around $25 a month for a monthly gift. Certainly reasonable, kind of fits in with all the for-profit subscriptions that they might have out there. I don't, it's growing. We don't see a lot of pullback. I mean, even the stats I mentioned before, that it is the piece of giving that is growing. It's grown 11%, and it's now 28% of all revenue nationally. And for us, it's even greater. It's almost half. So,
what are you seeing and hearing from your existing clients once they start using your software, in regards to what they want to see and future upgrades? Like, what are they asking for now?
Yeah, they always want to make their jobs easier. And that's always our focus. So if we look at monthly giving, for example, we just upgraded our donor accounts so that we are making self-service for donors easier, ability to update your card, the ability to update your bank account, the communications that go with that, confirmations of your upgrade, your updates, your cancellation, all that we've kind of built in for our clients. Our clients are looking to make their jobs easier. So if a donor can self-service themselves, that's easier. They want tools that on the back end and on the CRM side that they're asking about subscription management. for these monthly donations. It's kind of the next big thing that we're working on, is kind of taking the things that the donor can do and making that super easy and trackable for the nonprofit. So they already get a lot of this. We're just kind of making it even easier for them. These are things like updates when cards are expiring, understanding what subscriptions that they need to take action on with donors, reaching out to donors, payment, failure alerts, anything that can automate, their interactions with donors so that these subscriptions keep firing every single month. Those are the things that they're looking for, and that's really our focus. We do a broad range of types of campaigns on our platform, but we're currently right now in the process of rebranding ourselves, redoing our site to really focus heavily on recurring monthly donations. And over the next year, that's really the focus of our platform. We've already started redoing the blog. We kind of write exclusively about monthly giving now, with a lot of in-depth stuff to help our clients, not only on the technology side, but also with the planning and kind of care and feeding of the donors, and helping them understand the things that they need to do to keep donors happy, engaged, so that they won't reach for the cancellation button that we have, and we'll keep those donations firing.
When you speak to, when your organization speaks to somebody who hasn't moved to your platform yet, and maybe they're not doing monthly giving because they don't have a platform, talking about a smaller nonprofit, what are you typically hearing from them about why they haven't done it yet?
There's they don't know that it's easy, or it can be easy. They're worried that they don't have the staff to do the care and feeding of donors. They also may be very event focused, as so many small nonprofits are, when they think, when they sit around and they have their board member meeting, they're thinking, wow, okay, what can we do? We need to fundraise. How can we raise money? And oftentimes it comes around to, let's have an event. Let's have the pancake breakfast. Let's have a gala. Let's have something, event based. And they haven't thought about recurring, subscription type fundraising. They haven't thought about it. They don't know that it's easy. A lot of times nonprofits are overworked and overwhelmed. So the concept of, taking on another type of fundraising strategy or model may be very daunting to them. But we counter that with, hey, it's easier than you think. You actually can start by implementing a donation page that emphasizes it. Start to encourage. Just kind of make it a thing. Make it a thing that's important, that you just start talking about it with your donors. That's just a great place to start. Hey, did you know you can give monthly? And here's how it's going to impact our organization if you do. And it's very easy to do that on the donation page now. Put someone in charge at the nonprofit, and all you have to do is you have to be there to answer questions and help them if their card is going to expire. Just little customer service stuff that's not hard, and we'll teach you how to do that. Just kind of make it something that's important for the nonprofit. Enroll the board in it. Get the board members giving just a little bit. That can be your test case for, okay, we can show the board that it's easy. And then the board can tell a few friends that, hey, if you enroll monthly. So oftentimes it is just, they don't know about it. They haven't thought about it. They're a little leery of abandoning the things that they know. the one big event, the 3 big events that they might have throughout the year, gosh, how can we abandon that? We've always done it that way. We've always had these events. We say, hey, this is just something that you can add to your mix. You can start small. We've got the tools and the education to make it easy for you. We will hold your hand through this process. It's just something that you can add to the mix, and down the road, you're going to reap the benefits, because these donors are going to stay with you long term. You're going to start to get recurring, reliable revenue that you can count on, that's going to keep you out of those valleys, keep you out of the hole in your fundraising, and get you on an even keel all year long, so that you'll know the money that you can spend on your programs and go out and do the things that you want to do, which is do those great things in the communities that we see from our clients all the time.
Yeah, just to add something, something you just said too. I did hear in one of my podcasts from a guest that it was better to get people donating through their bank accounts than through credit cards, because bank accounts don't expire, whereas credit cards do.
Absolutely
So,
true.
it's
Absolutely
just
true.
a side note.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
ACH giving or giving directly through bank accounts, that's the highest kind of retention that you
yeah.
can get, because those bank accounts don't expire. That's a wonderful thing. If you can convert people over from credit card to ACH, you'll get even a higher retention rate than some of the things that we talked about before. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it was a good podcast. I learned a lot. It's all the time we have for today, but I'd like to very much thank Ronald Pruitt from For a Good Cause for coming on to today's podcast. And if you like today's podcast, please feel free to share it with a friend, and also subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. And if you like today's podcast or any of the other podcasts, please give us a 5-star review. The Nonprofit MBA podcast is in the top 1% of all podcasts in our sector and nonprofits. But it's because of those reviews and that expands that listenership. And we would really appreciate that. And of course, if you're looking for a line of credit for your organization, please feel free to visit our website at nonprofitmbapodcast.com. Ron, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, they can find us at foragoodcause.com. That's the number 4agoodcause.com.
Great. Thanks for coming on today.
Really appreciate it, Stephen. Wonderful to meet you. And love your podcast. You got a great thing that you're doing for nonprofits here.
Thanks. Well, we have great guests, and we've been doing it a long time. There's so many good podcasts and guests on it. It's really a great way to learn. So I end every podcast the same way, and I just want to thank all of our listeners for doing what you do on a daily basis to make this world a better place. I mean, there always seems to be some type of major event that's going on. Whether you're trying to solve a world problem, a national problem, or just a local problem or an individual problem, I thank you. I know that Ron and I are both trying to do our own part to be good people in our own way. But you're out there on the front lines. I thank you for that. But I just want to remind you that it's really important for you to take good care of yourself. You're no good to your cause. You're no good to your family. You're no good to your friends if you are burnt out or you're, having issues. So every day you got to think about, what do I need to do for myself to make me have the energy? Because let's face it, dealing with the things and the causes that you're trying to solve is a marathon and not a sprint. So just keep that in mind every single day. Again, thank you for listening to the Nonprofit MBA podcast. Please tell your friends about us. It's really a great podcast, and I have great guests like Ron. Everybody have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.